Well, hello there. Freaks! Tonight's review is on the 2012 film Dredd, featuring Karl Urban, Olivia Thirlby, and Lena Headey. I'm about to give you a condensed synopsis and review, heavily seasoned with my opinions. And you know what they say about opinions. They're like assholes. Everybody's got one. Although the movie Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone was made first in 1995, Dredd is a totally new, different adaptation from the comics, where the stories truly originate. So in this universe, that story never even happened. Unfortunately, Dredd tanked on opening weekend and never really made its money back. With a budget of about $50 million, it only grossed 41 worldwide. Oh well, what's 9 million anyways? Chump change. I freaking love this movie though. My natural testosterone production increases by 48% every time I watch it. And I've watched it like at least 60 times, so you do the math. I'm like a raging toro. I think most of this film's aspects were well done, especially the soundtrack. The only really lousy part, though, was the main storyline. So let's get into it. We start with the sexy voice of Karl Urban getting us up to speed. The year is 2134. And we see these enormous appendages to the city overshadowing the surrounding slums. This is Mega City 1. Population is 800 million. All law is totally enforced by the judges from the Hall of Justice. There aren't any courts in this world. The roles of judge, jury, and executioner are all compressed into a single occupation. Right out the gate, Dredd is in pursuit of a janky van with a bunch of hoodlums under the influence. Of what, you ask? A perfectly timed question. There's a trending narcotic on the streets, aptly named slow-mo, that gives the user an illusion of time being massively stalled for several seconds after inhaling it. It's hard to explain. If only there was some kind of a template that I could show you with. Oh, I know. I'll just show you the scene. Yeah, it's like that. It's just like that. Like in the movie. Basically, these thugs are just terrorizing the streets while hopped up on Schedule 1 whippets.
Do you require backup?
No. One of the dirtbags in the van decides to unload an entire mag from his fully automatic at Dredd. Bullets are bouncing off everything, probably wounding several people, but for some reason, no one is fazed by this. When the driver runs into a pedestrian though, oh, now Dredd's got beef. You can hit the bystander with your bullets, that's okay. Just don't hit the pedestrians with your vehicle. That's illegal. Dredd notifies Direct Control that they've killed an innocent, so he's gonna take him out. And he doesn't mean on a date. That's not what he's inferring. He shoots the van's tires with his tricked out bike, and they topple over, killing 2 of the perps. The single survivor makes a dash into the nearest megastructure to play cat and mouse. Oh my god, who is screaming? Man, that extra was really extra. A hostage is held at gunpoint between the criminal and our hero. Dredd sentences him to life without parole in an ISO cube if the hostage is released. If he doesn't comply, the sentence is death.
I heard you, hot shot.
What?
I said, hot shot.
Of course, the bad guy makes a stink, and so he gets a hot shot to the mouth. Now that his task is completed, he heads back to the Hall of Justice and is informed of a special rookie awaiting field training. Although she scored a little too low on the aptitude test, Anderson's telepathic abilities are off the charts, so the department thought her too useful to dismiss. You heard me right. She can read minds. Oh, you think that's nuts? Did you know vamps are occasionally endowed with the gift of telepathy as well? I, for example, am one of the cursed souls with this abnormality. What's that? You don't believe me? Well then, how did I know you don't believe me? Ha! Gotcha! Oh, what's that? You're hungry? Again? Well, you should have eaten something with more fiber. What's that? You're constipated? Again? Look, you really should be keeping these thoughts to yourself. At least they can't hear mine. I'd be in some trouble with all the naughty things Holy shit, they can hear me. Damn it! Whatever! The telepathic rookie and Dredd go on a field trip together, and they respond to a triple homicide originating from the mega structure Peach Trees. I forgot to mention, this is an extremely violent movie. There's blood like everywhere, constantly. It's awful. So this triple homicide, the victims were thrown off the 200th floor where the super evil villain dwells. Her name is Madeline Madrigal, which we'll conveniently abbreviate to Mama. She's the leader of one of the most vicious clans in the city and became notorious for biting her pimp's junk off after he sliced her face up. I would call that a lose-lose. It only took her 9 months to take over the entirety of Peach Trees. The thugs she tossed to their death were having turf issues, so she skinned them and turned them into human-flavored pancakes. Made with real human! Dredd and Anderson decide to target floor 39, where all 3 victims previously resided. It's basically the trap house of the structure. We get the 3rd scene in 20 minutes of slow-mo being used. They're really trying to sell us on this stuff. At least this time, it appears that slow-mo is actually giving the user a pleasurable experience. I was unclear about that up to this point, because every other shot we've gotten of it being used, the person just seems bored. This guy looks like he's blasting his boxers, so I guess it's good stuff. The judges put a sticky grenade on the door and bamboozle the hoodlums with possibly the best shootout scene ever filmed. We get to watch it as if we were on slow-mo the whole time. Minus the boxer blasting. Well, that's actually up to you. After executing everyone that pulled a weapon on the judges, they cuff the remaining thugs. This bit is important to remember. Anderson reports to direct control here, and the meat wagon is inbound.
Anderson to control?
Copy.
Requesting meat wagon to Peach Trees, level 39. We have 4 bodies for repsych and 8 live for the ISO cubes.
Copy that. Meat wagon inbound.
She senses that this particular individual she's cuffing is responsible for the triple homicide from earlier. His name is K. He works very closely with Mama, and Dredd expresses anticipation to interrogate him. I wonder why the telepathic rookie doesn't just probe his mind here and now. Maybe we'll understand her abilities' limitations more later on. But Mama catches wind before they've even left the structure, and since she knows Kay will squeal if interrogated, she quickly devises a strategy that will keep them from leaving. She has her men hijack Peach Tree's control room just before the judges make their way out, and they switch the structure into a war override protocol, which locks down all entry and exit points. Whatever will Dredd do? She has their comms tech, Dom, contact sector control to notify them they'll be running tests, and to disregard all alarms triggered, including transmissions to the Hall of Justice. Specifically. I think that was way too easy. This is called a plot hole. A big, gaping plot hole. Peach Trees just had a triple homicide, and a pair of responding judges requesting the meat wagon for like 8 thugs, remember?
Requesting meat wagon to Peach Trees, level 39.
How in the blazes is sector control not smelling anything suspicious? So Mama gets on the loudspeaker and says she wants the judges dead. The place stays locked down until she gets what she wants. And if anyone helps the two, their entire lineage is toast. Transmissions are jammed now, so the judges lose contact with direct control. Batches of clan members begin persistently attacking around every corner. The two decide to proceed in a stealthier manner by switching their silencers on. I'm glad there's a button for that, because I was starting to think the pistols only took voice commands. Okay, pistol.
Lawgiver 5000.
Switch to suppressed rounds.
You got it, big boy.
They'll never see me coming. The two quietly make their way up to level 76 by using a malfunctioning service elevator. It won't go any higher, that's why it was tagged out of service. The comms tech spots them on a security cam, and they initiate another lockdown command that isolates the judges even more. They're basically in a cage at this point. And this is where it gets stupid. They're totally pinned. No way to escape. And what does Mama decide to do? She pulls 3 Gatling guns out of her ass and mounts them to pre-installed Gatling stanchions that happen to be located on the other side of level 76. How? Convenient! What a coinky dink! I wonder what the construction workers were thinking 50 years ago when the place was all being built. Yeah, just install the stanchions over there. Never know when you're gonna need the big guns, am I right? So then, the clan barrages the other side with what seems to be an infinite supply of ammo, killing every single living organism except for our heroes, the McDodgersons. It's just too unrealistic. Let's remember, Mama and her clan run this building, so you would think she has a vested interest in its general functionality. But I'm sure it's fine. It's fine! Then she says, concentrate fire. Like they weren't already doing that, but this implies she knows exactly where they are. So how could they possibly miss with all those rounds? Whatever! One of the walls gets weakened and Dredd yells, High X, which switches his ammo mode to an explosive round, and he blasts a hole large enough to escape. So they all leap out and land on the balcony. How did his pistol hear him? Amidst the 50 cal rounds shattering concrete and rebar? Do these people even know how microphones work? I guess ultimately it makes no sense to have a feature of your handheld pistol be hands-free. What's next? He'll have to yell fire every time he wants it to shoot. There won't even be a trigger in the sequel. How convenient for the modern political climate. Anyways, now that they're out of the concealed structure, comms are receiving transmissions again, so they request backup. Remember, they already asked for the meat wagon earlier though, so it's still bothering me that no one from the Hall of Justice has noticed an abnormality by now. And it's nighttime too, so it's been like hours. Dredd tells Anderson they have to go back in if they want a fighting chance, because the moment the hole is discovered, they're sitting ducks. And we all know what happens to sitting ducks. Well, not a whole lot. I mean, unless there are hunters, though. Then, they're in deep trouble. You do not want to be a duck. Especially if it's just sitting there. So back in they go. Mama is still on the side with the Gatling guns, awaiting anxiously for the news of dead judges, while her men scout through the debris. But out of the smoke, Dredd appears and tosses her right-hand man off the edge like a bag of worthless trash. He heads right back into the rubble and continues his mission. It's so badass. Dredd's furious at this point because so many innocent people have died, all due to Mama's little judge hunt. He's also catching on that she doesn't care about Kay's fate, so long as he doesn't make it to interrogation. So he starts beating the crap out of Kay to see what he's hiding. After observing this method yield no results, Anderson suggests taking a psychic approach. So she enters Kay's mind. He tries to bully her around at first, sending imagery and thoughts of her doing sexual stuff to him. Don't bother getting excited though, it's mainly implied. He thinks he can freak her out so badly that she'll just sever their mental connection, leaving his secrets concealed. But she's toughened up since the beginning of her assessment, so she just dishes even more grotesque thoughts right back at him. It appears that since Anderson has the telepathic power, she can dominate the mental realm more easily, so she puts him through the experience that Mama's pimp had. You remember with the junk being... I don't understand how either one of them have access to that flashback though, cause It's not theirs, but since it doesn't ruin the movie, I'm just gonna proceed. Once Kay has had enough of the terrorizing trip, his mind surrenders and all his secrets spill out, along with his urine. And we discover what Mama's really been hiding. Dun dun dun! I have to go to the bathroom? But if you wanna hear the rest of the story, just wait. Like for at least a minute, because the bathroom's all the way down on the other end of the hall, and I don't have super speed like all the other vamps do. It's really annoying when I get invited to vampire parties because they always set up a game of musical chairs in the middle of the ballroom and wait for me to show up because they know I can't win. I've tried to arrive fashionably late, but they just stall the game. It's the topic of the night for them. Sometimes one of the girls pretends to not see the last chair and I'm closer to it, so I make a dash for it anyways, but I never really stood a chance. At the split second I'm launching my ass at the chair's cushion, she's already there and I just land on her lap and everyone laughs at me and I lose. They always make it so convincing. I'm gonna go to the bathroom now.